Hi guys, this is the view for the next 2 days. All 3 rods are out. I'm covering 3 bases, so the middle rod is long under a tree to the far side. The right hand rod is in front of those bulrushes that you can see just on in front, and the left hand rod is seven wraps out to the middle. I did see a fish top earlier on. It didn't particularly look like a big fish, but it was certainly a carp, so that's a good sign already. Just a PVA bag on the left hand rod in the open water. We got on there, we've got a GLMK and some pellet just in a PVA mesh. Far rod going straight across in the middle, that is a chili and garlic plugged up, about 2 handfuls in the back of the hopper. That's gone straight out, nice and clear down there. I did take some footage of a rig in the margin to see what it's presenting like, and hopefully that's come out okay. The right hand rod, that's on a GLMK, just a couple of handfuls scattered around down there. It's quite choddy. I've managed to find a bit of a clear spot down there. I'm hoping, anything that comes in on this close margin, that's covered. So all bases covered at the moment. It does feel good. Got a lot of confidence at the moment. That could all change, as we all know in fishing. That's often the case. But we're back. So yeah, that's where we're at. We will catch up. We'll have any more updates. We'll keep in touch. Tight lines, guys. Good morning. Another quiet night. Feel like I'm reliving the last 72 hours last week, but I had a little change this morning. I've got a rod. I did have a rod just down here in these reeds, a bit choddy. Picked up a branch when I was bringing it back in, so I don't know whether that was presented well or not. When I had a bit of a feel about, I didn't come across that before I put the rig out, so I think I might have just been over the top of it and clipped it as I brought it in. It was just out there for the night to put a rig in a place where it would normally get fished, so it was a bit of a guess and see really, and sort of really try and put something where a fish isn't used to seeing a bait. But that was uneventful, so what I've done now, I've got a little bug zig rig that I've made up. I've put about a foot off the bottom, and I've put that just a bit further out, sort of here. Just anything coming round this corner in down to this channel. See if I can pick anything up. I'm moving around in the day. It's been a cold night, bit of ground frost this morning. Must say, a good buy that I invested in was the Fox Flatliner with the 5-season sleeping bag. I can't fault it one bit. It's like being in a little oven, so toasty. You just don't want to get out of it in the morning. Middle rod I've left, I haven't touched that. I'll give it a few hours before I do anything with that. That's just over here. There's a coot around there at the moment. He hasn't seemed to be diving down yet, but it's inevitable. And the left hand rod I've put out on the boat, 7 3/4 rats. There's a hard spot out there. Crumbed up some chewing garlic, probably about a dozen boilies. When that hits the bottom, that's going to spread out. It's not going to look like a lot of bait, and the idea is anything passing through gets its head down on it. And that's in, like say, that's sort of around the corner here in the middle. I did see a fish swirl out there yesterday, so I'm kind of sticking to that spot. Can't ignore signs like that, especially in these conditions and this time of year. So yeah, that one over there under the tree, the middle rod, it does look like a likely spot. Really surprised it didn't go off, but when we was coming on yesterday, there was a guy, he was coming off for a 24-hour session, and his words were, "I wouldn't bother." Well, we're here, so we are. He'd fished the bay behind where I am, and he's seen fish in there yesterday, but nothing wanted to grace his rod. So yeah, so lovely morning. Had a few nice shots this morning, a few pictures of the frost. I'll be putting them in the blog. I wanted to present with some PVA bags just to sort of make sure that hook and everything's laid quite nice with a little bit of bait, because I'm not changing the rods for long periods of time. It gives a nice little breakdown of scent there, so just trying to keep plodding on at it. You never know, you might get graced with a fish. That'd be nice to see. If not, will be another blank. However, I'm going to keep doing the edits on blanks. I don't see the point in not editing because we don't catch a fish. At the end of the day, it's fishing. We all go and we all blank. We all work hard at it, so it's about keeping it real and keeping it positive. That's the main thing. I think we've always got to be positive. I know it plays on your mind and it grinds you down sometimes, but you've just got to remember it is winter and it is fishing and it is a lot slower, and when you do get that fish, it's all that much better. So that's me waffling on now. Any more updates or anything that's happening, I'll keep you guys posted and we'll go from there. Cheers guys, see you later. Good morning, guys. Yes, you probably guessed it. Another quiet night. Dad had a take this morning, first light. Took him straight into a snag. Didn't result in a fish, unfortunately. I'd get the waders on and go get the boat and the boat round, just make sure the fish wasn't there and it wasn't tethered or anything. He laid the rod down for a good 10 minutes while I got ready, just in case the fish was still on and came out, but it had long gone. When I was out there, I was looking. It's desolate out there, not a fish anywhere to be seen. I saw the bait where he put down. It didn't look like a lot of it had been eaten, to be fair. I just think the fish are held up somewhere, and they're not active enough to want to feed. A young lad came round last night to pre-bait a couple of spots for the weekend. He was walking around all the margins last night. He said he couldn't see nothing. There's been no proper shows of any fish. It's just like they just disappeared. He's going to set up in one of the swims in the corner on the single pegs. To be fair, if fish are down that end, then hopefully, fingers crossed, he can pick one out. He said he's going to do 24 hours. If nothing, he may not do 48, but he's still deciding. When we got here Wednesday morning, we came for a walk around. We looked for fish ourselves. We couldn't find anything, so we resulted in these swims to give us a good bit of water to go up between us. And Dad's had one down in the entrance of the bay around the corner. He's had a rod on that. Not a bad little spot, to be fair, but that hasn't resulted in anything either. So yeah, it's just frustrating, but the work and effort's being put in, that's for sure. And there's still time yet. I mean, it's now 9 o'clock. We've got a couple of hours before we pack up, have a bit of breakfast. We're going to take some footage on the boat, get the camera out, see what we can find. Not that we'll find much, and go from there. So unless there's any action in the next couple of hours, that will be over and out from me. Until next time, cheers guys.